Could it be that Aboleths are older than the gods? That before the Defined Ones came to be, such monsters shaped the universe? Now there's a chilling thought. Hello everybody and welcome to Mimic's Memory, where we will be going through the Monster Manual. Join us today as we discuss Aboleths. On page 14 of the Monster Manual, we can read all about Aboleths. Before the coming of the gods, Aboleths lurked in primordial oceans and underground lakes. They reached out with their minds and seized control of the life forms surrounding them, making them their slaves. Their dominance made them like gods. Then the true gods appeared, smashing the Aboleths' empire and freeing the slaves. Aboleths have never forgotten. This is primarily because of their eternal memories. You see, Aboleths pass their knowledge and experience from generation to generation. Thus, the injury of their defeat by the gods remains perfectly preserved in their minds. Aboleth minds are treasure troves of ancient lore, recalling moments of prehistory with perfect clarity. They plot patiently and intricately across eons, and few creatures can conceive of the extent of an Aboleth's plan. Gods in the lake. Aboleths dwell in watery environments, such as the ocean abyss, deep lakes, and the elemental plane of water, which is where they return if ever killed. For you see, an Aboleth never truly dies. For when an Aboleth's body is destroyed, its spirit returns to the elemental plane of water, where a new body coalesces for it over days or months. Ultimately, Aboleths dream of overthrowing gods and regaining control of the world. Aboleths have had untold eons to plot and prepare their plans for perfect execution. But clearly there must be more than that to Aboleths, often reaching 20 feet in length and weighing up to 6,500 pounds, though they continue to grow as they age, some reaching upward of 40 feet. They resemble a bizarre eel with long tubular bodies, as well as a tail at one end, with two fins near the head and another on the back. Aboleths' mouths were lamprey-like, filled with serrated teeth. Their underbellies often orange-pink, while their top sides were typically sea-green, containing 4 long tentacles. Their heads were roughly triangular shaped, with a spherical, somewhat beak-like nose. Above the nose there were 3 eyes, each one set atop the other. 4 slime-secreting orifices line the bottom of their bodies. These orifices Aboleths use to create a thick, gray, mucus-like substance, which covered their bodies. If robbed of the ability to exclude this slime, an Aboleth would suffocate in water or on land alike. As such, an Aboleth had to take care of its mucus. If an Aboleth was to have its mucus dried up in the sun, it would go into a state of suspended animation called long dreaming, a fate considered far worse than simply dying amongst the Aboleths. For during this process, if the tough waterproof membrane was pierced, the liquid would flood out and the Aboleth would soon die. Short of disease or violence, Aboleths don't die of old age, and therefore live indefinitely. Aboleths had powerful psionic powers, as well as the ability to secrete a vicious gray fluid, much like a mucus, which, when comes in contact with the creature's skin, turns them into a mindless servant, changing the portion of skin that it touches and giving them the ability to breathe in water. This allowed Aboleths to keep slaves known as Aboleth servitors, which they dominated and kept captive through their mind. Another strange feature of Aboleths was their memory. An Aboleth was born with a racial memory, each individual inheriting the memories of its ancestors. Aboleths also assimilate the memories of the ones it consumes. Each Aboleth stores its memories in an ever-growing part of its brain that extends down its back as it ages. Being hermaphroditic, possessing both male and female parts, when aboleths breed, they do so in private, laying roughly 1 to 3 eggs every 5 years. When laid, the eggs gestate for the same 5 years before hatching into fully functioning aboleths. Although young, these aboleths are essentially adults because they contain the full memory of their predecessors. They typically remain with their parent, however, for roughly a decade, obeying their elder without questioning before setting out on their own. During this time, aboleths may review particularly fine memories of their ancestors, and they might relive entire portions of their forebears' lives. However, being both extremely cruel and highly intelligent, they were amongst the most dangerous foes that ever existed in the multiverse. Holders of many terrible secrets thanks to their unique genetic memories, aboleths were born fully aware with all their memories of their ancestors, making even the youngest aboleth a frighteningly deadly force. Aboleths, as you may be able to guess, are completely self-centered as a race. They knew they were among the first beings in existence, and because of that, everything that came after, they just kind of looked down upon. Particularly land-dwelling creatures, aboleths are weak, though still formidable on land. And because of this, they simply don't waste their time fighting the land creatures. They don't believe it's worth the effort. By contrast, they were greatly unsettled by the similarly powerful mind flayers, but mostly because they didn't know the origin of that race particularly. Wholly alien but dangerously intelligent, aboleths were among the most powerful creatures in all of the known multiverse, and often, though removed from human affairs, they did not hesitate at any point to kill or use unfortunate mortals who cross their path. Aboleth society isn't like many of the more familiar cultures. Some aboleths formed clusters known as broods, ruled over by a more powerful overseer. These broods were often accompanied by aboleth servitors or other minions. Aboleths, unlike many other races, don't worship the gods. While they acknowledge the presence and the power of the gods, they remember when the modern gods were born, and even remember the demise of older gods. They do not concern themselves with an afterlife, since their perspective on death was to consider it a failure, and they intend to live forever. Aboleths did, however, have a certain respect that sometimes approached reverence for the powerful beings known as elder evils. But that, my friends, is for another video. If you like this video and would like to see more content like it, please subscribe to me here on YouTube and follow me at TheCajunDM on TikTok and other social media platforms.